In contemplating the seasons, the third season is the season of summer. And the season of summer is an interesting season. Two things are important in the season of summer. Number one, and that is to give life to your values. If you've planted a garden, now you've got to give it nourishment. Give life to your values. Once you've got an Herbalife customer, now you've got to give them life by giving them your attention. Make this note: no greater gift than the gift of attention. Giving someone not just your time, but your attention. Giving someone your information. Giving someone your inspiration. Like a mother that gives life to a baby. Now she nourishes it. Now she feeds it. Now she takes care of it. If you've been so fortunate as to have now an Herbalife organization, I'm asking you to breathe life into it like a mother. Nourish it and feed it like a mother. The summer time is a time to give nourishment to something you've started. Don't leave it to wilt in the sun. Don't leave it to be discarded by time. Give it your life, give it your heart, give it your soul. There's one thing I can say about Mark Hughes since the first day I met him all those years ago. Mark puts everything he's got into everything he does. And I'd like to have you make that note and see if we can't follow. Put everything you've got into everything you do. That's called life. That's called mothering. That's called giving it life like a mother. Now here's what else you must do in the summer. You must guard against the enemies like a father. As soon as you've planted a garden, it's going to be invaded. The busy bugs and the noxious weeds are out to take your garden. So not only must you give life to the plants, not only must you give life to the fruit trees, you must now guard your fruit. You must guard your garden from the enemies that are going to try to move in and take over. So here's what you must do. Nourish your values like a mother and fight your enemies like a father. And there's all kinds of enemies. There's the outside enemies politically. We've had to war with our enemies against democracy, the enemies against freedom. We've had to fight all these wars. The war's been going on for the last 6,000 years of recorded history. Thankfully now we're winning the war of democracy. We're winning the war of freedom. The walls did come tumbling down a few years ago, and now freedom rings. You can walk the streets of old Prague and talk politics and not be afraid of being thrown into jail. Opportunity has come. There's a fresh breeze of opportunity and freedom blowing around the world. And wherever it goes, Herbalife will follow and teach people how to take advantage of free enterprise, capitalism. But I want you to make this note. The enemies are not far away. Yes, when the light comes, it's wonderful. But the darkness is not that far away. The enemies of freedom are not that far away. And the enemies of your life are not that far away. Here's what I'm asking you to do. Stand guard. Stand guard over your distributors. Stand guard over your customers. Stand guard over your family. And stand guard over yourself. Stand guard at the door of your mind. When those things that would come and tempt you to be distracted, stand guard. We've all got to fight the fight. We must give nourishment, yes, like a mother, but we must also fight the war like a father. So I'm asking you to be strong in fighting the enemies. Now, it's not only the enemies that are on the outside, it's the enemies that are on the inside. Let me give you a quick list of some of the enemies to be on the lookout for in the season of summer. Number one is indifference. Indifference. The ho-hum attitude. Letting it slide, letting it go. I don't think we have to talk much about that in Taiwan. When I was here 21 years ago, 20 years ago, I made reference to this when I left and went back to America. Here's what I said when I went back to America. When I was in Taipei, those 2 years that I was here, here's what I told my American friends. I never saw an idle person. When I visited this country those 2 years, I never saw an idle person. Everybody I saw was busy. Everybody was doing something. That's why you've built such a fabulous country and such a fabulous city, and it's to your credit. And all of us here applaud you for that. I've got a good phrase for you to jot down. You cannot drift to the top of the mountain. If you want to see the view from the top, you have to climb. You have to climb steady. You have to climb true. You have to climb consistently. You cannot drift. You cannot say, ho hum, oh, maybe it'll work out. I've got my fingers crossed.